A Kentucky boy is killed in a freak accident on a farm, plus a new school policy for head lice has parents concerned. Your News at 10 starts now.
From your hometown news leader, this is WBKO at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Sparks. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, a Kentucky family mourns the loss of their son after he died in a freak accident on the family farm. 9-year-old Nicholas Janus was found in his family's barn at their farm off Tuttle Road in rural Laurel County. The coroner says the boy's death appears to have been an accident. As Phil Pendleton reports, the county coroner says this accident hits way too close to home for him and other members in the community.
It happened here on the Janus family farm about 12 miles from London.
This 8-year-old child was in a barn doing some feeding some horses. Apparently his clothes got hung in a rafter that was probably about 5 foot high, and his sister came out and found him.
Coroner Doug Bowling believes this was just an accident. No foul play is suspected. Somehow the boy's clothing got caught in the rafters.
It was a hooded sweatshirt that's probably loose and could be apt to get hung very easily.
Bowling says in his experience as coroner, he's never seen anything like this, and as a parent, it was a tough case to work.
It's hard to understand. I've got a boy his age, and it's just something that you couldn't believe would happen.
That was Phil Pendleton reporting. Again, authorities say no foul play is suspected. A man accused of hitting a patient at Kentucky's largest institution for the mentally challenged says he's not guilty. Gary Mounts of Liberty was indicted after a state investigation that lasted more than a year. Now Mounts' wife says he was just trying to defend himself. Mounts' wife, Nancy Jo, also worked at the communities at Oakwood at the time.
He was trying to prevent him because he was biting, kicking, throwing punches. My husband did get two, he said 3 in the lower part of his jaw, 3 hits. And I asked him, did you hit him? He said, no, I didn't.
The Attorney General's office disagrees and says the charges are warranted against Mounts, who faces 10 years in prison if convicted.
These are mentally retarded patients. The victim in this case was a mentally retarded patient. The people who are at Oakwood are not able to be on their own and to take care of themselves. And
State health officials are still waiting to see if federal funding will be cut at the communities at Oakwood. If funding is removed, it would effectively shut the facility down, meaning all the patients would have to be moved. A dangerous Allen County intersection is getting attention from the state tonight. US 31E and Kentucky 101 in Allen County have been the site of numerous fatalities and injury crashes. 2 people have died there in the last 2 years. Many residents agree something has to be done.
As you know, we're a small community, and when something unfortunately happens, just like the fatality, everybody knows, so they kind of add a little extra caution, but we want that caution to extend beyond a week or 2.
County Judge Executive Johnny Hobdy says the biggest problem is people running red lights or simply not paying attention. Officials have asked the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to review the intersection for possible changes. Judge Hobdy says motorists can also expect to see an increase in police patrol immediately. After 6 months of retirement, Bowling Green's former city manager is back at work in another city. Today, the city of Franklin voted to have Chuck Coates take over as interim city manager. Tom Gordon resigned from that position on Monday after 7 years in office. Coates will begin on Monday.
It's a learning curve. I've lived north of Franklin Simpson for a long time, but I'm not that familiar with a lot of things we're working on. So I'll be spending a lot of time just getting out in the community, talking to people and learning about the staff.
Coates will stay in the office for 5 to 6 months until a permanent replacement is found. The search for Bowling Green city manager is still ongoing. Ken Thompson has served as Bowling Green's interim city manager since April. At the beginning of this month, a committee of 14 volunteers narrowed the search, choosing the 3 most qualified candidates for the job. The Russellville City Council is aiming to pass an ordinance for citizens whose water bill is shooting through the roof without a clear answer as to why. The abnormal usage waiver will only affect Russellville citizens that have seen bill increases of over nearly 4 times their normal rates due to underground pipes that leak.
If the customer's bill is 4 times his normal rate, that they would pay the city's wholesale rate for the water. And if it went in our sewer system, they would pay 50% of the sewer rate. If it didn't go in the sewer system, they would pay nothing.
In the past 18 months, Russellville has had to weather the dissolution of the Consolidated Infrastructure Management Authority, the replacement of water meters due to excessive water loss, as well as complaints about dirty water and other issues with Logan Todd Regional Water. But McPherson promises this ordinance is aimed strictly at helping citizens.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christopher MacDonald in for Shane Hollandy tonight. A frost advisory is in effect for the entire WBKO viewing area, and so you know it's going to be a cold evening in South Central Kentucky. 40 degrees by midnight, dropping to mid-30s, possibly even below freezing in some spots, and 40 degrees by 9 o'clock. Kelly?
Thanks, Christopher. A new policy in some Glasgow schools has some parents concerned. Glasgow Independent enacted a new policy at the beginning of this school year to control and prevent head lice. The new policy says quarantining the child, notifying the classmates' parents, performing mass screenings, bagging the kids' clothes, and restricting the use of headphones or athletic gear are all unjustified responses. Instead, school officials are supposed to notify the parent at the end of the day of the suspected infestation and provide information about head lice and methods to eliminate the problem. While some parents disagree with the new policy, school officials say it's working.
Like that, we are not going to get rid of the problem.
This parent wishes to remain anonymous, but says she has a 5-year-old child attending South Green Elementary School in Glasgow, and her child has gotten head lice 3 times since school began.
Very frustrated that I can do no more to clean my house and our hair than what I'm doing now. And the other issue is that I have to put chemicals, constantly on our hair.
While this parent disagrees with the school's new policy, Glasgow Superintendent Dr. Fred Carter says based on the latest guidelines from the American Academy of Pediatrics, Centers for Disease Control, and other national associations, they no longer use the no-knit policy or do school-wide screenings for lice because these practices have not proven to be effective in preventing or controlling lice in schools. Before this new policy was enacted, if a child had lice, the principal would call the parents and give them supplies to help get rid of the lice, which usually took a few days.
Basically, what it did was just deprive those children of 3 days of an education.
The new policy says because a child with an active head lice infestation has likely had the infestation for a month or more by the time it's discovered, and because the child poses little risk to others, he or she should remain in class but be discouraged from close head contact with others.
I asked our school principals how the change in policy had affected the prevalence of nits and head lice among our students here in Glasgow Independent. They actually told me that there seems to be fewer head lice cases this year than more.
But some parents don't agree with the policy and say it's not eliminating the problem.
The 5-year-old, you cannot keep them physically away from another child, and that's how the contact is spread.
Carter says this policy is a new school board regulation and a state board policy, and he will abide by the law. Kentucky's 4th and 8th graders are making headlines for scoring higher than the national average in reading. According to the 2005 results of the National Assessment of Educational Progress, 4th graders scored 3 points above the national average. 8th graders in the state averaged 4 points above the nation. Marcia Kerr, a reading teacher at Moss Middle, says she tries to get all of her students involved with reading. She says she'll look for an interest or a hobby the kids have and have them thumb through a book about that. As the first frost may not be far away, heating your home is quickly becoming a top priority, and it could be an expensive one. Coming up, Western Kentucky University researchers are working to find an alternative that could save you some big bucks. That story's next in this week's View from the Hill.
You're watching WBKO at 10 with Kelly Sparks, Shane Hollandy, and Doc Holliday with sports.
At Thornton Furniture in Bowling Green, we're celebrating our 9th anniversary with a special sale just for you. Recliners, sofas, bedrooms, dining sets. You'll find our best selection ever of beautiful furniture and accessories, all at special store-wide discounts as we say thank you for making our 9 years in business a success. The 9th anniversary sale now in progress at Thornton Furniture in Bowling Green. Don't miss it.
When the sun goes down, the moon comes up this Friday and Saturday night during our big Moonlight Madness sale at Martin Cadillac and Martin Kia. We're dealing like never before on all new and used vehicles in our inventory, like this 05 DeVille, just $22,995, this 05 Grand M, $11,995. GMAC and bank representatives will be on site offering on-the-spot financing and delivery, top dollar for your trade, and no reasonable offer will be refused. It's the Big Moonlight Madness sale this Friday and Saturday night only at Martin Cadillac and Martin Kia on Scottsville Road.
It's time to rack up family fun indoors with billiard and game tables from Gents. We're the area's exclusive dealer of Behringer billiard tables with quality 1-inch Bella slate and solid wood construction. A beautiful looking table you'll enjoy for years. Right now, this Behringer Black Champion is only $6.99. Check out our air hockey tables and foosball tables built to last with a modern, durable design. And quality spas like this Viking 1 spa, only $14.99. Let Gents give you the very best quality for your home.
Hey kids, if you like candy, you need to listen up.
Saturday at WBKO, it's Halloween Fest 05.
There will be over 30 businesses giving away candy. That's like going to over 30 homes.
But that's not all. There'll be lots of games, inflatables, and more. And best of all,
it's free. So stop what you're doing and tell your parents about Halloween Fest 05. Saturday from 11 to 3 at WBKO Studios.
Halloween Fest 05 is presented by Heaven's Little Angels and Fort Campbell Credit Union.
It's time to play the Kentucky Lottery.
Hi, I'm Joanne Wolf, and tonight's winning pick 3 number is 391. Once again, that's 391. Tonight's drawing is witnessed by the accounting firm of Crowe, Chiswick & Company, and now it's time to play pick 4. Your winning number here tonight is 4307. Again, 4307 is tonight's winning pick 4 number. Here we go with Kentucky Cash Ball, where you can win up to $200,000 in cash. Tonight's winning numbers here are 17, followed by 29, 18, and the final number is 6. Tonight's winning blue cash ball number with $200,000 in cash is number 24. Here's another look at all those winning numbers, and here are tonight's winning Tic Tac Cash numbers. Remember, you can line up and win with Tic Tac Cash. Good night and good luck.
You're watching WBKO at 10.
The cooler weather is a reminder that winter is on the way, and with those colder temps comes concern. National statistics indicate people using natural gas to heat their home could be paying up to 50% more this year. Researchers at Western Kentucky University are working on a new process that could have a significant impact on your heating bill. Rebecca DeCincy explains in this week's View from the Hill.
95% of power plants in the state of Kentucky are fired by coal, which historically has been the cheapest source of fuel. But recent guidelines set up by the Environmental Protection Agency stemming from concern over coal emissions has coal being a more expensive source. Research being done at Western Kentucky University is trying to help your finances and your health at the same time with the process of clean coal combustion.
If we can reduce the cost that the coal-fired power plants have to bear in order to meet the EPA guidelines and also to produce energy from that coal more efficiently, so you get more out of every ton of coal, then that reduces the cost for them.
According to Dr. Blaine Farrell, the Dean of the Ogden College of Science and Engineering, the process that Dr. Wei Ping Pan and his staff have created will have major implications for power plants.
He's going to show them how to burn their coal more efficiently, cleanly, and therefore generate more power given the resources they're putting in, which means less money.
In the Center for Research and Development, Dr. Wei Ping Pan showed us his small-scale version of the coal combustor. Next month, the full-scale version of the combustor will be constructed in the tower off of Nashville Road.
You know, coal is still the cheapest and most stable for the fuel. And if you're burning gas or you burn the petroleum to generate electricity, will be very, very high price. But coal is still stable, and we can last around 200 years. And Kentucky is #3 coal production state.
Mercury emissions from coal have become a rising concern for the EPA and power plants, causing the need for a clean coal combustion process.
We developed the technology to help the industry to solve the problem. That's why we play the important role. We are one of the 5 laboratories in the United States can do the mercury emission.
cleaner and more efficient coal equals lower costs for power plants and in turn lower heating costs for the consumer and a more healthy environment.
Dr. Wei Pingpan and his staff traveled the country in their mobile unit testing the emissions of power plants, and their services are in high demand right now as power plants attempt to clean up their acts. They are the only lab in the country that can give these plants a 24-hour turnaround time in the results of the emissions of their plants. I'm Rebecca DeCincy, and that's The View from the Hill.
The Hilltoppers take on 8th-ranked Southern Illinois. A recap of tonight's big game, plus your total fitness athletes of the week coming up in sports. But first, many of you Hilltopper fans probably had to bundle up at the game. But will you have to keep a jacket around for the weekend? Christopher McDonald is in next with your forecast.
Of Raymond James Financial Services, South Central Kentucky's retirement headquarters.